Good morning, class. I'm Mariam,
And I'm Enrique Perez.
and we're here today to talk to you about the consequences of agriculture.
Agriculture was begun about 12,000 years ago and largely replaced hunting and gathering during the Neolithic Revolution. Sumeria and Egypt were among the first civilizations to exhibit this transition. The human population's growth was powered by the proliferation of this traditional or subsistence agriculture. However, the Industrial Revolution brought a new industrial agriculture into existence with techniques like monoculture that increased yields exponentially. Our current society owes its existence to the advances of the Green Revolution that increased yields further still.
The evolution of agriculture has necessitated a rise in the usage of water. We are putting under strain sources of water such as the Indus, Mekong, and Colorado River. In fact, 80% of our water in the United States is used for agriculture alone. One solution we have found to increase efficiency, which is in fact a big problem. In fact, 60% of our water diverted to irrigation is wasted according to the UN Food and Agriculture Organization. However, back on point is that the drip irrigation system has proven significantly more efficient, and what it involves is directly delivering water to the roots of plants through a system of pipes and valves. In this new world of 7 billion people, much greater than there were in the first century or the second century, we have to increase the amount of agricultural productivity we have in order to meet the demand for food. However, our farmers use a method through fertilizers that has unintended consequences for our ecosystem. Specifically, the fertilizer we use runs off into our bodies of water, such as the Mississippi, causing a huge problem here in the States and around the world.
The consequence is eutrophication, which is the excessive growth of algae in bodies of water. These algae outcompete other organisms for sunlight and water. The result is hypoxia and dead zones inhospitable to life.
From time to time, you have heard of these things called pesticides. What they are chemicals that are used to kill pests such as insects. They're used to spray it on crops and help us grow as many fruits and vegetables as possible.
But there's a problem with pesticides. They have numerous health effects upon the human body and other animals, such as affecting our hormones, our endocrine system. Some have been known as carcinogenic, and other various health and respiratory problems. A big problem with pesticides is that once you spray them, they get everywhere. For example, they tend to, due to a process called leaching, get into our water supplies. And also due to another process called volatilization, they turn into a gaseous state and start spreading everywhere, farther, miles away from where they were originally sprayed. And it's a big problem because we need them, but at the same time, they can do environmental harm.
One very famous example of a pesticide is called a DDT. It was actually harming our bald eagle population, and it almost drove them to extinction, which is why laws and regulations were made for it to be stable here in Publix, and we're going to show you guys the difference between organic apples and apples that are grown with pesticides. These look exactly the same, I know. However, this one over here is grown with pesticides because the label has 4 digits in it. However, this one is grown organically because the label has a 9 at the beginning and it has 5 digits.
The biggest difference is that there are no pesticides used whatsoever in organically grown fruits and vegetables. Otherwise, there would be some differences in modifications to the soil and the plant itself, but the biggest difference remains pesticide use. The careful part that you have to keep in mind is that they look exactly the same, so you can end up buying this fruit, for example, and not realize if it's organic or pesticide grown. You can usually tell the difference from organic and pesticide grown fruits by looking at the type of stall they are. They're usually kept completely separate from all the other fruits, usually with the green organic label on them.
And the funniest part that I find is that these that are grown with pesticides look so glossy and yummy, yet the organic ones don't look so edible as these do. So these definitely look more delicious, but I would recommend to eat the organic ones because I feel like they are healthier for us.
Gonzalo and Ms. Torres here, and I'm here to ask some certain questions about agriculture. My first question will be, how do you consider hypoxia to be a very big problem? What solutions can you think of to solve it?
Can you repeat the word?
Hypoxia.
Oh, hypoxia. Okay. Hypoxia leads to anaerobic bacteria growing, and that can ruin a lot of crops. So we need to avoid that from happening.
Okay. Ms. Torres, how about pesticides? What do you know about pesticides, and what do you consider some of the worst pesticides to be?
Science, take this one.
Okay, pesticides. Well, they can be transferred within the food chain, so when magnified, which process called biomagnification, and they can end up being bioaccumulated in your bodies. When I say you, I mean humans, and also animals that we can later on eat. So that will lead to more of these pesticides in our bodies, and those can have dreadful effects on our health, reproductive system, breathing system, digestive system. So it depends on the kind of pesticide. It can affect your neural system. It depends. We have different types.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Okay, with Mr. Tarantas, the AP US History and AP World History. And I'm going to ask him a question. So, sir, what do you think about genetically modified organisms?
Well, with GMOs, I don't see anything wrong with it. People can taste it different. I personally can taste it different. Is there any record that it's causing harm to people? I don't think there's any evidence it's causing any harm. So unless it's proven that it does any harm, I say why not go?
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And have a good day.
Thank you.
Good morning, and I'm here with Miss Alfonso, and I'm here to ask, when you go buy food from your grocery market, do you check your labels?
I do check my labels. I check to see the ingredients that are in my food.
And for your fruits and vegetables, do you check their labels, their stickers?
I usually stick to buying organic. If it says organic, I like to buy my fruits and vegetables organic. So
How can you tell it's organic?
if it says organic.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching our video and for your time.
And we hope you learned something new.